Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. This is the part three of 2 day signature analysis workshop, weekend workshop. So, this is part three of it. Now, as we have already seen earlier, we have seen why signatures are important. What is the significance of your signature? What changes do you need to make in your signature? What is what is a positive trait and negative trait? uh, what are what is the height and width of a particular sign, if it is a good or bad, the size of the signature. Then we have also spoken about the placement of the signature, the horizontal and the vertical placement. Similarly, today now we are going to speak about the two P's present in a signature, that is the placement of the signature and the presence of the signature. So I'm going to continue with the earlier three slides which were remaining, and then I'm going to move for the rest of the class. Okay. Now, as mentioned over here, overwriting and dominating. Now, when I'm saying overwriting, which means that there are two or three initials which are written one above the other, which is wrong and it is a negative trait. Now, it also means that the person is trying to dominate the other person. So, as I've said over here, it is said it is a clearly negative trait. It indicates one is dominating the other and causes a lot of stress in relationship. Now, mother's initial is above the father's initial, which means that the mother is dominating the father. Now, it could be dominance could be in any case, be it in finance, be it in maintaining relationships, be it in saying that my word is the last, be it in an argument, or overall in any other aspect where mm, uh, dominating nature comes into consideration. Then the mother over the father and the person's initial. So now see, there are people who could be doing this kind of signature. I personally haven't come across any of such kind of signature, but just in case this could be a rare case, and this could be a very common case as well. So it's all up to your destiny if you get to come across such kind of signatures. But again, this is about mother over the father over the person's initial, which obviously means by the person is being dominated by both the parents, the father as well as the mother. Also, another thing that I would like to let you know is about uh, this signature mm, dominating part, and the thought just passed off. If I remember, I'll just put it up again. Yeah. Person writes self initial over the father's initial. This indicates that the person is over pampered in childhood and later keeps dominating others, which again is a negative trait. So, overall, only overwriting or self scratching is something which is a negative trait. Come what may, these are the things that we are going to avoid doing in our signatures. That is supposed to be remembered by each and every person. Okay. I continued with these two, three slides. The reason being, the presence and placement subtopic is going to be continued in the next slides as well. So that's the reason why. So to be continued, let's move to the next one. So this is the first slide again for day two, and in your public image again, uh, presence and placement. Now, initials are separate, but the first alphabet of the surname is above the initials. This indicates that the mother dominates the father as well as the writer. The domination, as I've said, it could be in many aspects. It's not only about finance, it's not only about the relationship. It could be overall dominating the entire household. Person overwrites mother's initial and overwritten by father's initial. This indicates that the person dominates mother, but the person is again dominated by the father. So basically, the mother is become the chutney of the sandwich. From here, the children are dominating. From here, the father is dominating, and in between, she is her thoughts, her actions, her desires, everything have been suppressed, which again is not a good idea. Overall, over a period of time, this has been observed, or there are few studies also which have been done, where whenever a woman, not only a woman, in this particular case I'm speaking about a woman, whenever a married woman is, her feelings, her thoughts, her ideas have been suppressed or been dominated by the opposite gender, it somehow changes the woman in such a way that probably over a period of time, uh, she's starts uh, she's so used to those suppressed emotions that over a period of time she starts blabbering things, like, we say one small sentence, क्या मम्मी आपको इतना भी नहीं समझ में आता है. When we say this over a period of time, listening to this sentence, she might end up, this could be a triggering point for her, and she might end up um, um, having a big word fight with everybody in the house. हाँ हाँ, मुझे तो अकल है ही नहीं, आप लोगों को ही है सारी अकल, मुझे तो किसी ने कुछ सिखाया ही नहीं, मैं तो ऐसी ही आई थी मायके से, एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ, so this, when happens over a repeatedly over a period of time, this is what has been seen. So uh, I'm not saying to not dominate or to over dominate or not dominate at all, but there needs to be a balance in anything and everything that we are doing. uh, we need to understand that mothers also are human beings and females also are human beings. We need to not completely suppress their emotions or feelings, but at least uh, uh, give them some way where they can vent out their emotions in a positive way. That makes a lot of difference. Even giving a complete listening ear to what your mothers are saying or what your wives are saying, uh, that will make a lot of difference in their lives as well. I mean, listening ear as in a positive listening ear, huh? इस कान से निकाल के इस कान से निकाल दिया, that is not listening. From here, if it goes here, and from here, if it goes here, then change starts happening in you, which will eventually feel better for your mothers or your sisters or your wives, right? Even for your daughters, you never know. Now, one initial is large and occupies the another initial inside it. This indicates less stress compared to the cutting initials, but still stress is seen. This is also called as dominating initials. The person is dominating as well as protective. Now, when we say dominating as well as protective, uh, how much dominating is that particular person makes a lot of difference. Point number one. Point number two, how much are you as an individual, the writer, trying to accept that dominance and trying to see that this is not actual a dominance, right? So this also makes a difference. For me, this becomes dominating as well as protective, but at point, it also means that the person is not completely dominating. I have my own say, right? Yeah. And when it comes to these overwriting part, what I wanted to let everybody know in whosoever is watching this video or whosoever will be watching this video is that please remember that if at all you are not able to figure out which alphabet is written on which, straight away ask it to the client. Whosoever signature is like this, please ask them which is the first alphabet that you have written, and which are the initials that you have written above those, right? So ask them the sequence of the signature. That will make a lot of difference. Only then you will understand who is dominating what, and only then you will be able to give a correct analysis of those things, right? Now, another thing that I would like to let you know is about, I might be repeating this, is not necessary that each and every signature or each and every possibility which is given here, you will come across those when you are with your clients. It could also happen that there could be some signatures where you are just not able to figure out what exactly it is. It is not nowhere in the PPT. So there, it is something where you can come back to Psycho Shiksha, come back to this video, or come back to me if it is possible in some or the other way. So these are the ways where you can find out. Also, when you are analyzing any signature, maybe for the first two or three, or maybe maximum five signatures, you can keep the PPT open with you. But when you're keeping the PPT open, don't keep it open in a way where the client is able to obviously see those PPTs, right? This is something which is completely exclusive, where you have paid some amount of fees to, get this working. So please avoid doing that. Another thing is, over a period of time, say maybe after 5-10 signatures, or over 50 signatures, as as and when you start building confidence about doing signature analysis in a proper way, you will stop using these PPTs and concentrate only on signatures, how to analyze. Yeah. So that's one very important aspect that I need to let you know. Just like the analysis is supposed to be done one on one, it is also important that you uh, keep your study material away from the client, because it's quite obvious. Out of curiosity, they might ask कि हमको ये PPT share करो and all that stuff, which is of no use. So please don't do that. As I've already said, half cooked knowledge is of no use for anybody. Then yeah, with this I've already spoken about. Let's move to the next one. Large initials. When I say large initials, it is a submission to being dominated. Like what over here I've said last sentence, no? How much are you able to get dominated by the other person? That also makes a difference. This this large initials means that the person is completely surrendered themselves to the other person who is dominating them. Here in the picture, the larger initial has a tendency to protect the smaller initial. Both these initials are dominating but are also protective. Now again, being protective for a 40-year-old kid or a child is something which is a little irritating to the 40-year-old person as well. Being protective and dominating towards a 10-year-old kid is still understood, right? So again, as I'm saying that, being, see, you surrender to a particular god when things are not working in your favor. That's completely understandable. But when you are surrendering yourself to people, be it anybody, your elder, be it your father or your mother, or even your spiritual guru or anybody, we need not always be surrendering to them, because then people forget that you have surrendered. They try to take you for granted, right? And dominating also means sometimes that the person who is dominating you is using humiliating words, or is thinking that you are just not capable of doing anything, right? So from protectiveness, the it the focus could be shifting on your capability as well. So this should not happen. That's the reason why this is a complete negative trait. And anybody who has this kind of initials of writing inside or outside, or self scratching or anything, please avoid doing that. It is of no use to anybody. Over a period of time, what will happen, the person who is being protected, that person will never have that self confidence. That person will never have that capability, or never have that courage to take the decisions on their own till the age 15, or maybe max 20 in today's world. That's more than enough of domination or protectiveness that is needed by any child. After that time, I personally feel that they need to gather some life experiences by doing their things all by themselves. Not all of them, but at least if start doing a few things all by yourselves. That will help you to gain confidence as a person, and then you will be able to take a stand on what your statement is in your life. Otherwise, then this dominating, overpowering, protective, the person, the writer, will never grow. They will always be into that small zone. मम्मी को पूछता हूँ, पापा से पूछती हूँ, and सारे decisions तो मेरे मम्मी पापा ही लेते हैं मेरे लिए. No, that then becomes you, over a period of time, when this writer starts working somewhere, um, in different jobs. These people are the ones who will never be able to take decisions on point, on time, the right decisions. They will always have that question mark in front of them, that, oh, is this the right decision that I took right now? Oh, is this the correct time to speak with the person sitting in front of me? So this keeps on happening with them. So to avoid that, they need to avoid doing such kind of signature. Again, obviously, this is a complete negative trait. Okay. With this, we have completed the two piece, the presence and the placement of the signature. Now, other than this, there are many other aspects that I would be continuing and I would be completing today, or maybe in the next few hours. So my thing, or my observations over a period of time, uh, since I have been a graphologist for almost 10, 12, 13 years or so, 13 odd years or so, I have seen many people who have written the content, but the signature does not match with their content. I mean, be it be it the handwriting wise, or be it the content wise as well. So the content is contradictory. From the content, you might get to know that this is the person seems to be quite confident and hardworking, and is very much enthusiastic as well, has leadership qualities. But the same thing uh, is not seen from the signature as well. So from the signature, the person could be seemed like more of a timid person, not having those kind of that kind of confidence, or those portray those leadership skills. So when such things happen with you, or if at all you feel that uh, this is complete contradictory or complete contrast, what you can do is, uh, over here, there comes a thing called as combination of traits. Now, this actually is a part of graphology, the big umbrella. Uh, but over here, then you need to be very, very, very sharp minded and on the point, to let them know that despite it being contradictory, the person should not be able to find it out. And despite, what do I say? you as an graphologist or a signature analyst should be able to analyze the signature on point. Only then it will help. If at all you feel for the first few signatures that you are analyzing, you might feel that this is a complete contradictory that what I've said right now. So you can simply ask them questions rather than giving them a complete statement or analysis. You can simply state that, see, from your signature, I personally feel that you are, quite a shy person. So, is that so that it is, or it could also might happen that you might not be opening up to anybody and everybody. You might be opening up only to a few people, to only those people whom you know very well. Only in front of them, people start giving the answers. That is how it can help you. Another thing, uh, this is actually this was a, I was supposed to tell this quite early, maybe in the first lecture or so. Whenever you analyze a signature, from the signature, whatever topics that I have taught till now and the topics that I will be teaching you ahead, you need to, there is, rather it is a must that you need to let the client know a minimum of, not minimum, a maximum of 20 to 0 points for only from the signature. So if there are around 80 to 90 points that you get, that you can gather from the content, from the signature, you should be able to gather at least, rather not at least, but maximum of 20 points should be, you should be able to convey it to them. So to reach to that excellence level, you need to practice a lot. And even though the lectures, these lectures are available on YouTube, I personally feel if you can join the classes, live sessions also make a lot of difference, because you can put up your queries in front of the teacher. So that's point number one. Uh, Another thing, it might also happen that uh, you might uh, end up giving the wrong suggestions, or end up, I'm not fearing you, or uh, I'm just making you aware of the different possibilities. So it might happen that you are, with full confidence, you are analyzing the signature, and the first 5 6 points itself that you tell are of are completely wrong of, in context to the client. The client says, no, no, this is wrong. No, no, this is not correct. No, no, this is not me. No, no, this is something which is completely wrong. It is not applicable to me. So don't uh, feel bad over it or be disheartened that अरे ये क्या मैम ने सिखाया था लेकिन इसमें से तो कुछ भी बराबर नहीं. That won't happen. So see to it that, so the solution for this could be that go stepwise. Like, say, for example, the first part is about the height and the width of the, the horizontal and the vertical placement of the signature. So where the content is written below 3 times the signature is done, that becomes the horizontal and the vertical placement, right? So start from there. Then move on to the probably the next one, the size of the signature. Then probably the width and the height of the signature. Then the presence and the placement of the signature, right? So slowly move above one step ahead. Immediately when you see a signature, if you put up a comment saying, oh, what a dirty signature, obviously the person sitting in front of you, the client, is going to be offended, and they won't, definitely won't like this particular part. So instead of doing this, you can probably take your time, be completely calm, take your time, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, analyze the signature, and then start giving your analysis. If you are not comfortable communicating one on one, probably you can just jot down a few observations or the analysis first. from point 1 to 20 or whatever, 15 or whatever. Once that is done, then uh, gather sentences in your head, make proper professional sentences, and then speak it to the client. That also makes a lot of difference. Also, if you as a graphologist or a signature analyst are going to scream and shout just to put a weightage to your statement that you or your analysis, that is not going to help. The person is going to feel offended. See, the very first thing we all need to remember as graphologists or signature analysts is we could be the last resource that they are having. They have already been to the counselors, they have already been humiliated by friends, they've already been humiliated by their parents, or their confidence has gone completely low, and then they end up reaching to us, right? You never know their earlier journey. So the more polite we speak to them, the more kindly we speak to them, the more listening ear we give to them after our analysis, or probably in between the analysis that you are giving to them, it will help them to be more real. The more you try to put up a point saying no, no, by arguing, saying no, no, I am correct, this is what I've been taught and this is correct, completely correct, that is not going to help. Even I, despite being for having an experience of almost 13 years in this field, I have never said to my clients that, no, no, I am completely correct and you are wrong. No. Probably I could ask them a question saying that, see, from I personally feel that you are such a kind of a person. Like you are a timid or a shy person. But I mean, is that so? I would ask them, right? Or if maybe I can completely clearly see that the person is not at all punctual. They run late everywhere. But instead of saying that seems like you run late everywhere, I would say that uh, will it be possible for you to reach on time uh, from now on? Will that help to take better decisions or to change your life for a better life? So this makes the person think that, okay, this could be my negative trait, and this probably is a negative trait which I need to change, right? So these are some few things that we I'm not telling you to be completely harsh or be completely true to them. What we can do is we can sugarcoat the same sentence in a better way, manipulate it a little, but not completely manipulate it. Let the negative trait reach to the client, but how you make it reach to the client makes a lot of difference. So see to it that the you be kind to the client, you be polite with the client, you give a proper listening ear to the client, and uh, gather sentences or form sentences before saying them in such a way that the person is not offended and would not recommend you to any other people. If you want your client to be recommending you for another people, see to it that you are polite, kind, but at the same time see to it that you are conveying your conveying their positive and negative traits both without offending the client. It's a tough journey, and it's almost like the person walking on the thin rope, like the girls walk on the in the circus, right? So it's difficult, but you will over a period of time be able to understand and do those things properly in a better way. Then yeah, now comes the most important part, which we call as legibility of the signature and illegibility of the signature. Now, legibility is something which five literate people are able to read your signature, that becomes a legible signature. If the same five people or any different five people who are literate and are not able to read your signature or can read only half of the signature, which means it is a completely legible or a partially illegible signature. Sorry, completely illegible or partially illegible signature, right? So these aspects we all need to keep in mind. Another thing, uh, over the next slides, you will understand why, which is more easier, a legible signature or a illegible signature. So, what is the difference? Why legible signature is more better than illegible signature, and both its pros and cons we'll get to know from it. Now, whenever this is just an example that I'm giving over here. As I've said, there are five people who know how to read but cannot make what is written. It is certified as illegible signature. Two kinds of illegible signature, partially illegible and completely illegible. Now, illegible signatures are formed from straight and curved lines, highly modified letter forms, circles, loops, etc. When a child doesn't know how to spell a word, they scribble something unreadable, hoping that the person will be able to read it. Similar thing is applied over here. Now, I had a signature which I recently received, and it's such an interesting signature that unfortunately I might not be able to share it, but if I have it, I'll share it. Let's see if it works. Then 1 minute. Um, it's what? 1 minute. I'll show it to you. Da, da, da. Let's get back. Um, I found that signature. We can discuss about that signature a little later once I complete teaching you this part. Now, in illegible signatures, the middle zone is unclear or totally absent. Now, I've already spoken about the upper zone, middle zone, and lower zone in the last class. So, imagine the illegible signature, the middle zone is completely absent. It's either up or down, or separated in such a way that the middle zone is completely absent. The middle zone stands for present or reality. Now, why does the person want to avoid the reality? I'm letting you know the psychology behind why people want to sign illegible, right? That's because the conscience is not clear and they know it very well. Writing illegibly is just an attempt to escape from the twists and turns of the reality. So, illegibility shows the person without a clear conscience. Only those people who have done something wrong want to hide it or do not want to show it to people, right? These people have a desire to make easy money without having to work for it. So, over here, the best example is the recent scams which keep on happening, right? You get a phone call and they let you know, they tell you to tell the OTP that you have received on the phone, and you tell the OTP and your money is gone. Or credit card frauds were happening in between. There were you let us know your CVV number and then money is gone, right? So these kind of scams which are happening, or download a particular app, and once you download that app, your money is gone for a toss, right? And you cannot retrieve that money for some strange reason. So these are those people who have such kind of illegible signature, and that is something which is of no use. So these people do not understand that the money that has come fast to you, it will be lost also quite easily, or quite uh, easily, or in a very fast way. Just the way you received in a fast way, it's going to vanish also in a fast way. Now, these kind of people are more involved in activities which they do not want other people to know. So they are either into, um, they, they basically are dishonest, as well as are uh, prefer cheating people. Now, I'm using the word prefer, the reason being, uh, उस वक्त के लिए प्रेजेंट ऑफ देयर सिचुएशन, उस वक्त के लिए उनका मोटिव होता है कि इंसान को सामने वाले को फंसाना है, पैसे चाहिए, बस पैसे ही चाहिए। उस पैसों से क्या करना है, दैट दे आर नॉट नोइंग। पैसे आए, चले गए। The money they have received, they either they have those kind of expenses where they'll either party or do any such kind of things, right? Most of, I mean, I'm not completely blaming anybody, or again, I am not pinpointing any profession as such, but you might find these kind of people either having some kind of drug addiction, or having smoking or drinking addiction, which normal people like us would be hesitant, or would not prefer doing such kind of things, right? Again, taking the money and using it for their benefit only. They will not use it for the betterment of the society or anything. So that's wrong again. So, as I've mentioned over here, the tendency is towards dishonest honesty and cheating. Then illegibility also shows that they want to cover it up, trying to make it look like nothing happened. The fact is that illegible signatures, even if they make a lot of money fast, they will lose it equally fast. In the long run, inevitably, they will end up in loss. So if anybody who is having illegible signature, please avoid doing that and change it to a legible one ASAP. That's required. Okay. Now comes the important part of illegibility and connections. So there are four to five different things that we need to take into consideration when I'm saying illegibility. Now, see, as I'm moving forward, letting you know about the different signatures, or the different parts of one particular signature, remember how many aspects you need to take into consideration. I'm not expecting you to do and remember and tell each and every aspect which is mentioned over here to the client. No. I suggest you start off from the very first part, that is horizontal and vertical placement. From there, you can move on towards different aspects. The more you uh, dive deep into the signatures, you will understand there is a lot many things, and there are a lot many aspects that we all need to consider before giving the analysis to the client, right? Till now, whatever I have taught, I hope that it is quite clear and quite understandable, right? Now, when I'm saying illegibility and connections, uh, it means that you might have seen people either doing, like this, or an ECG kind of thing, or maybe uh, a U kind of thing in the signatures. So there are a few things into it. Illegibility has parts like garlands, threading, angulars or arcades, and then the last one is the looping. So you will find these kind of things in the signature. Now, when these are there, you need to understand first, you should be able to understand the signature falls in which category. If it is a garland, either it is a threading or angular or loops, right? Out of these four, where does the client fall into? Once you're able to understand which category the client falls into or the signature falls into, then give the analysis of that particular part. Okay, see to it that you don't mix up giving something else only, analysis of something else. I mean, you can see it is a garland, but then you end up giving loop aspect analysis. Don't do that. So illegibility shaped like continuous lines of garlands means that the person will be soft spoken and friendly at all times, but they will not speak what is really in their minds. They can react strongly in pressurized situations. So as you can see over here, let me annotate over here. You can see over here, there is some kind of U that is seen. The garlands that we hang on our doors during festivals, this that's the garland thing which we call. So if you have anybody of you are having this kind of aspect in your signature, please don't do it. Then let's move to the next one, arcades. Now arcades is exactly opposite of the garlands. So the one which you see like this, it could be above. So a sleeping C, what we can say, right? Uh, this actually means that the person is not only a cheat, but is also resourceful and secretive. This is a very dangerous combination, especially if you have this in your spouse. Then every time the other or the opposite gender ends up being uh, being skeptical about, not skeptical, being completely soundshy. Now, what do I call? Wait, 1 minute. Ha, being completely doubtful uh, towards the opposite gender. I doubt if that person, my husband or my wife, has done this or not. I doubt uh, about his loyalty or his or her loyalty, right? So having complete doubts and then making the relationship over a period of time a bit stressful than needed, right? Then comes threading. Again, this is the picture which I have attached. And threading, you could probably say that the like the ECG that we have in our in the operation theaters that you see, the that that can be said as threading. So it goes up and down, and whatever that becomes a thread thing. So wavy lines indicating disorganized person. They lack conviction and ability to react sharply. And the last one is loops. So as you can see over here, annotate. Where is the annotate one? Yeah. So as you can see, there are loops over here. Now this becomes loops. This is all loops. This indicates that the person is a very complicated person. The loops may be interconnected either using garlands or arcades. And in any kind of thing that they're doing, losses are guaranteed. Be it a relationship, be it a profession, be it business or anything. Whatever they do, they're going to end up losing everything. Angles. This shows a lot of determination, but also a lot of stress. The sharper and taller the angles show more of this stress as well as frustration. They're very analytical and sharp. Now, because they are quite analytical and sharp, it's quite obvious that the person is going to, have questions in their mind continuously. So if this is there, then why not this? If this has happened, then why not this? If this has not happened, then why not this? Then why did that person lie, or why this person speak truth to me, right? So over a period of time, the person becomes frustrated because there are hardly any answers that the person is getting, right? The reason being, the person is way too analytical and sharp and keeps on overthinking. Not everything and every aspect of your life, you not necessarily that you get answers for each and everything that you have, right? So that makes a difference. Dots and dashes. This again is a very important aspect, and we need to remember that the more the dots, the more the less the clarity, right? So, and the more underscores, the less the person is clear in their mind. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute. I'll be back in just one particular minute. Okay, so I'm back. Let's move to the next one. I'm going to speak about dots and dashes. Okay. Now, the type of connection in the script will enhance the connection in the signature strongly. This person is very protective as well as secretive, also has a mindset to cheat people. These people are very friendly and soft spoken in behavior. It is then very clear that the person is trying to project a false image of friendliness and openness. Partial illegibility. The implication of partial illegibility remains the same even if the signatures, with an exception that they are implied only to specific areas. So, say for example, the first two alphabets or the initials are illegible, or maybe the last part is illegible. So, there are different kinds of things. Now, if only the profession part of the signature is illegible, it means the person will have very limited success rate in professional life, but the personal life will be comparatively better. Also, it means that the person is trying to hide their profession as much as possible. Okay. When only the professional part is illegible, it means the person is doing unwanted things in professional matters, but the personal relationships will have some kind of clarity. The overall quality of signature is still low, but the personal life will not suffer as much as the profession. Any illegible signature will denote the person represented by that initial is involved in some or the other kind of dishonest behavior. Now, over here, this entire signature itself, you can say, is illegible, right? Now, this actually is an A, but it doesn't look like it is all loops. B is still understandable, and SINGH, because I'm looking for this, seeing this signature almost 50-20 times, I know that it is AB Singh, right? But I too had difficult time to understand what exactly, what alphabet it actually is. So this is A, which is in loops. This is B, this is S, and INGH. Again, this is a partial illegible signature. This becomes a complete illegible signature, and this again is a partial illegible signature. So whenever you feel that the signature is completely illegible or is partially illegible, straight away ask your client that, can you let me know which alphabet is what? You will understand when they decode those alphabets or those words, you will understand what that signature is, and you will be able to give a better analysis, right? But please, in any case, don't ever say this sentence that, oh, such a dirty signature, or, what an illegible signature. How do you even make this signature? Don't pass any of such comments. People obviously are going to get offended. I had done this once and I had a bad time. I still remember it was almost 10 years back, but I had a tough time. Okay. Now comes the most important part, which speaks about which is what is better, illegible signature or and legible signature. So even if nothing else can be read in the signature, the shape of the T or the dot on the I is something which we can read in any case. When only some part of one zone in is clear in an illegible signature, it means that there exists a little clarity of thought or liking regarding that particular zone. This is an element of partial illegibility. Now, a legible signature is always better and recommended to have a clear conscience. It takes maximum of 10 seconds to do a legible signature. Now, I'll tell you how this actually works, okay? Whenever we are going to put up our signature, be it anywhere in the world, be it your legal document or be it signing on the courier or signing on a muster on a daily basis, anywhere, whenever you are going to sign, automatically our brain becomes conscious. Our brain is alert. It sends commands to the entire body, especially to the hand, that pick up the pen and sign properly. We never uh, end up signing our wrong signature. That's because we have this conscious mind, which is where it is present, and we sign completely and properly. Automatically, our senses are, alert, and we sign properly. So when we are going to sign properly, why can't we sign it legibly? It takes, irrespective of you sign a clear signature or you sign a illegible signature, it's going to take the same amount of time. Now, you might ask me this question that, ma'am, uh, but uh, what if we have, uh, if we sign clearly, there are chances of forging of our signature. Now, over for this particular part, I do have an answer. So this forgery of signature maximum of the time happens when your signature is illegible. The reason being, your signature has arcades or loops or threading or angulars or dots and dashes, all that stuff. When this is seen, obviously the person is, just going to copy that curves and loops, right? Which is not the case when your signature is a legible one, because the formation of that signature is something which only you know as a person. The other person doesn't know how to do that. There are some aspects where uh, you know uh, only you know how that curve is supposed to be taken, how that particular alphabet is supposed to be joined to the next one. That is something which only you will be able to know. So forging of sign happens when the signature is illegible and not when the sign is legible. So please be sure that wherever in the world you go, wherever, whichever document you're going to sign, see to it that your signature is completely legible. Okay. This question has been asked to me umpteen times from my clients, from my students, from anybody, that ma'am, how is it possible? But this is the actual reason. There's a science behind it. There is a thought behind it. And this is that thought. The curves and loops and threading can be copied quite easily compared to your actual signature that you're doing. Quite straightforward, right? Okay, let's move now. After this comes uh, the part called accessories. Now, when I'm saying accessories, there are something called as, you might have seen people either circle their entire signature, they'll draw a straight line under their signature, they'll probably do a concave or a convex underscore, or they might give 2 3 dots after the signature or before the signature. There could be some starting stroke that the people might follow while doing the signature, right? Some people draw hard, or some people will do some kind of doodling next to the signature. So what all these things are, that comes under the part called accessories. This I might start off. I am not sure if we'll be able to end this particular part, because after this also there are many things which we need to speak about, but let's see how it works out. Okay. Dotting. So now what does actual dotting mean is putting simple 1 or 2 dots below the signature, above the signature, next to the signature, or whatever, right? Before the signature or after the signature. Now, dot has different, where it is placed, where the dots are placed also has some meaning. A dot placed in a sign has more meaning than anything else in the world. Now, dots in the left side of the signature indicates company at home. Dots done around the center indicates company of siblings. Dots indicate on the right side or at the end of the signature desire for friends, right? Then 2 or more dots obviously indicates waste of time. 2 dots after the signature indicates friendliness is at wrong places. So always it is recommended to have just one particular dot after the signature. Nothing more, nothing less. Dot between 2 initials. This indicates blockage between 2 individuals. So blockage, it's something called as that invisible wall which is present, which is of no use. Dots placed in between individual shows that the individual and the father, they cannot communicate their ideas freely, right? A dot between self and the mother's initial indicates they are not open with their mother and eventually with their wife and children as well. Somehow they won't attain a healthy closeliness with their own family. So if anybody who has this dot putting thing, avoid doing that. Rather, please don't do it. It's not recommended. It's again uh, a negative trait. Sorry, but it is a negative trait. I was personally doing this when I was in my 10th standard, when we had to sign those ID cards for 10th standard exam. No, I had that particular. I used to sign S Jagaukar, S. Jagaukar, right? And I didn't realize it then. Later, I realized after doing this course that how wrong I was. And I actually had a tough time conveying my ideas or my thoughts to my parents, especially to my father. Single dot after the signature, it's almost like a full stop. These people are very particular about certain things. So if they want their tea at evening 4 o'clock, they want it at that particular time. And they'll have that same amount of tea every day with just a dash of milk and whatever, all those specifications, right? Okay. I think with this, we can stop for today, because then we remain with underscore and many other things. So after this, I would be speaking about underscore, above score, multilingual signatures, uh, then signatures done in two levels. I'm also going to speak about um, convex concave signatures, or underscore, then varying underscore. So there are many other aspects which are still remaining, which I will be continuing in the next class. For the time being, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to stop the recording as well. Please go through the recording. If you have any doubts, you can come back to me and Psycho Shiksha as well. Thank you. Have a good day.